independent.
Okay.
Okay, so platform independence in the sense means it can be. See here, you have done some sum of two numbers program, for example. Okay,
Okay.
you have designed. So Chetan has designed some sum of two numbers function. That function will take some two arguments and return the sum of two numbers. So that
Okay.
source code, whatever the code you have written, that is with you. But here, that is, for example, assume that you have written that code in Java. So what happens here, when you compile that code, bytecode will be generated on your machine. So simply what I have to do, if I take that bytecode from you and execute on my machine, that can be executable without the source code. Okay, can
Okay.
you please
Okay.
give me a minute?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Okay, right.
Okay.
So better I will share the screen for now. I'll explain that to you.
Mhm.
So here what happens here, this is your Java code actually, right? So when you do any code in the Java, so what I have to do first, there are two phases, right? So what is the first phase here? You have
Write
to
the code.
compile the code.
Okay. Compile the code. Okay.
You have to compile the code here. So after compilation, what is the output you will get here?
Binary output.
I said right, which is bytecode output.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a bytecode actually. So what is the importance of taking the bytecode here is this is the reason where, sorry, the spelling mistake. Okay, so what is the importance of taking the bytecode here is that this bytecode is useful something like it's a universal format, which you can define something as it's a universal format. Means any interpreter can understand this format.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
right. So after compiling the code, what you have to do here? So compilation is done. The next phase is what? Here, interpretation.
Okay.
The next phase is interpretation. So what is the importance of interpretation here? So whatever the compilation you have done, after compiling, this will be converted into the bytecode. This interpreter usually takes input as a bytecode.
Okay.
Okay, and it will compile the instruction step by step, and from the interpreter you will get the required output.
Okay.
From here you will get the required output here.
Okay.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so this
Okay.
is the generally what happens the phases while executing any programming languages.
Okay.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so coming to the scripting languages, what happens in scripting languages, there is no phase of compilation. Okay, so
Okay.
complete this phase is not available. So
Okay.
entire this compilation phase usually taken care by the Python interpreter itself.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
do you got the difference, right?
Yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
But
here
yeah.
programming language is there, scripting language is there. So what is the difference here? Whenever you're executing or interacting with the programming language, there two phases are available. One is interpretation and compilation. So compilation, once it is done, it will generate the bytecode for you. After creating the bytecode, what it will do, the compilation usually take that input as a bytecode and it will compile, it will interpret that and executes the output. But
Okay.
whereas in Python, what happens? Directly the interpretation will take in. Okay, so interpreter will directly take care of this compilation along with the interpretation. As per
Okay.
the theory in Python, it says that it does not occur any compilation phase. There is no compilation phase. But when you're practically executing some class files, there you can observe this bytecode.
Okay.
Okay.
Is it clear for Chetan? Karun, are you clear?
Yeah.
Yes.
You're clear so far, right?
Yeah.
What happens here is that generally in Python, what they say is that there's no compilation phase in Python, but it usually occurs at the back end, but no need to taken care by the end user.
Okay.
Okay, and also you can observe those bytecode format. Generally, whenever you observe any file with .py extension, okay, whenever you observe any .py extension, that file indicates it's a Python file.
Python.
On your system or wherever you observe with .py extension, that file tends to, it's a Python file. And coming to the compile or whatever say, bytecode, right? So that bytecode should exist in the form of pyc. Whenever you observe the .pyc files, those are taken as a bytecode. This you can observe when you're interacting with the class level in Python.
Okay.
Clear so far?
Yeah.
Any doubts?
No. Clear.
Right? So you got the
Yeah.
difference, right? What exactly the difference between the programming and scripting now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yes.
Right. So here now you got the difference, no? Now what are the other things you have to learn here? Now you got what exactly the difference between the programming and scripting languages. Now our intention is coming to the scripting languages. So what exactly this meant for? Right?
Yeah.
So coming to the scripting languages, generally in the past 10 years back, they use some kind of Linux or bash scripting. They are available. Linux or bash scripting is available. Using these, what they do, they used to automate some small jobs on the Linux servers mostly. Okay. So for
Okay.
example, do you have any idea on the Linux machines?
Yeah. Okay.
So
Little
there is
bit.
a cron tab, right?
What?
Cron tab. So you can something like you can schedule your events, whatever the functionality you want to do.
Oh, I don't know about it.
Okay. For example, tomorrow some Samba server is there. So you have to automate the process something like at tomorrow 11 o'clock, I have to start the Samba server.
Oh, yeah.
So what
Okay.
administrator has to do tomorrow, he has to supposed to go to the server and he has to switch on that manually. This is the process actually occurs in the form of manual way. So that makes the more trouble for the end user. He has to supposed to take care of everything. But user no need to go to that server and switch on. So in order to avoid the manual operation here, what I have to do is that I have to automate that process. So what I will do, using the cron tab, I can automate that, and else I can use the scripting languages for that point in time.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, using scripting languages, what I will do, I can automate the process of manual things to some extent at that point, because these bash scripting or Linux scripting that does not support the oops completely. Okay,
Okay.
they does not support the oops actually. Means they are
Okay.
not completely up to the programming level or complete on big complex level applications. You can't design using that.
Okay.
Okay, so that's why later they came across with Perl. Okay, what
Okay.
this Perl actually, this Perl is usually called as a text processing language, right? Okay, so what
Okay.
exactly in 1990s generally they got a requirement. For example, most of the code at those point in time has been designed using C. So while they are coding the application using C, they got huge kind of logs. Those logs are with a high capacity of 10 GB or 20 GB or 5 GB around. So it is having huge amount of the information within the file. So within that log file, I want to parse some activities, whether something my application is run successfully or not. What is the way actually the manual user is supposed to go to that log and check that particular string is available in that log or not. Okay.
Okay.
So by observing manually, what they can get some assurance that the application has run successfully by observing something contents or exceptions in that logs.
Okay.
Okay. So using that process actually, for example, if I want to do that same log parsing using the C language or Java, it is very complex. The operation is very expensive.
Okay.
Okay, so in order to avoid such kind of something like complexity for the existing languages, okay, Larry Bell, the guy who invented the Perl, this guy has come across with a language called Perl. This Perl usually it is mostly for the text processing activities. Wherever you want to pass some activities from the log files, they prefer the Perl as one of the best choice there.
Okay.
Okay, so this is completely meant for whenever you got some requirement of log parsing, they use Perl. And also this Perl is a OOPS language, means you can design some applications using that.
Okay.
But this is very bad in inheritance. Not inheritance. It is very bad structure in OOPS. Means it is not following all the principles of OOPS.
Okay.
It supports the OOPS, but the OOPS structure in the Perl is very bad.
Okay.
It is not
Okay.
following the exact standards of OOPS actually.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so later on they have come across with the Python. Okay, so this guy something called Gerardo van Rossum. This guy has invented this Python. So what actually is that he is one of the member in the C languages founder, because then he is worked with Dennis Ritchie. He's the founder of C language. So that is a reason he developed Python using the what C. So Python is completely built using the C. Okay, so most
Okay.
of the library you'll see the similarities between the functionalities in C and Python are most of similar.
Okay.
Okay, so coming to the Python, so here we got the history now. So what exactly now the importance is giving in the market? Why, what is the reason behind that? Okay, got the
Okay.
history right?
Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
we will learn the importance of the language. Importance, or we can say it is the features of Python.
Okay.
Right, so coming to the importance, first one, what is a thing or criteria which is making the Python huge usage in the market is, first is it is easy to learn. Coming to my experience with the Python, any engineer with the basic things remains, if you have any basic awareness of programming language, he can learn the Python in 3 to 4 days. That is more than enough,
Okay.
Yeah.
because it's a scripting language. One of the reason that too why easy to learn here is that the syntaxes are very easy. Okay, and generally whatever the piece of code or snippet of code you do, that is in general English. Means at this instant, if I give some program to you, Python program to you, you're not sure about the Python actually, but you can get at least 40 to 50% of functionality from that, whatever the piece of code I have given that to you. Okay,
Okay.
Okay.
to some extent you can get the functionality, because the thing here is that it is very easy to learn. Because for example, if you go for any other programming languages, the first thing is that there will be a starting braces, there will be ending braces, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Which actually messes up the people there. So they don't know where exactly to start, where exactly to end, and the loop structuring also, it is not very good in other languages when compared to the Python here. So it is very clear whenever you see there's some piece of code that gives the beautification, so that user can take something from that piece of code at least. Okay.
Okay.
So the syntactical wise and implementation wise, it is very easy, and it is also the what you say, for the initial learners who are want to turn to the programmers, this is the best choice for them to learn to start their career with.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so we got the point, easy to learn. Next is easy to implement. Okay, so what easy to implement here? So something like, for example, you're designing some application with the .NET or Java, right? The
Okay.
same application, if I am designing using Python, for example, Java takes thousand lines of code. The same kind of application you can design using Python within the span of 100 to 200 lines. That is the
Okay.
kind of flexibility it is provided by the Python actually,
Oh, okay.
because you can reduce most of the code here. So what is the reason behind that? Because in Python, for doing anything, functions are already available. The only thing that's supposed to be done by the end user is just use that function.
Okay.
Karan, are you getting right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, just don't hesitate. Okay, if you have any questions with respect to the personal whatever personal information with respect to the Python or something, just ask me. Don't hesitate at all. Okay,
Yes, sir. Okay.
right. So here you got the 2 points. What is the importance? Is huge library support. This should be the one of the reason for any language, because without having the good library support, that does not give any importance in the market.
Yeah.
Because at that instant, for example, Chetan is working on the robotics, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So in the robotics, I don't know. I don't have the exposure to the robotics field platform. So here, if you want to do anything or any development activity using Python with respect to the robotics, you no need to do anything from the scratch level. So there are already certain functionalities are available.
Yeah.
So for example, you have worked with Python, right? So there are certain packages available for you to interact with the robotics, right?
Yeah.
Just you import that and use that.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right.
Right? So what
Yeah.
happens here is that, for example, Chetan is working in the some robotics platform. Has this Python is a open source. It's an open source language. So what happens, like Chetan, there are many other guys who are working on the different platforms. So take image processing, take robotics, take embedded systems. So these guys, what they do, has it's open source. Whatever the functionalities they design with respect to their platform, they will contribute those functions to the Python actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
So till now, so whatever the packages you design, like your open source guy is, so they will contribute to the PyPI. It's a Python package indexing. Okay.
Okay.
So they have certain standards are there. You can push your code, maintaining that standards. You can push that code to the this PyPI. So your code will be reviewed by the set of guys, and they can approve that. Once they approve, your code will be in the Python PyPI website. Okay.
Okay.
So what happens still no, mostly there are around 80,000 plus libraries supports are there in Python. Almost all the platforms.
Okay.
Okay, so whenever they are working on, they don't need to do anything from the scratch level activities because they already some functionalities are available. They're supposed to use that. That's it.
Okay.
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 Next is it supports all the databases. Means I can say all the RDBMS. Okay. So RDBMS stands for Relational Databases Management System. Okay.
Okay.
Whichever
Okay.
the RDBMSs are available in the market, Python supports all of them.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
It supports all the kinds of databases, but inbuilt Python when you install, there will be a database inbuilt called SQLite 3.
Yeah.
The current version is 3. So in the market, SQLite is one of the databases they are rapidly using in the market because the mobile market, how it is, mobile apps designing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So in mobile, whatever the mobile we have, so there is a database inside that is called SQLite 3 only, SQLite only.
Okay.
Whatever the mobile database is, which is mobile carrying is, the database is called as a SQLite. Okay, the same thing which is carried out by the Python also. If you don't want that, whatever the user, for example, if you want to interact with the MySQL, then you're supposed to explicitly install that
Okay.
on your machine. Okay,
Okay.
but if you don't want that, if you want to interact with the SQLite, this is already a built-in available when you install the Python itself.
Okay.
So user no need to go explicit installation for SQLite as well.
Okay.
Uh,
Is it clear so far?
yeah.
Yes.
Likewise, suppose there are many advantages for there. So you can design, for example, UI or UA level activities using the Python.
Okay.
Okay.
UA in the sense something I call as a standalone applications. Okay, you can call this as a
Okay.
standalone applications. Something like, okay. So GUI in the
Okay.
sense web designing, right?
Okay.
So in order to design the website taking the support of Python, you have to go for some other framework called Django.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so take support of the Django, you can design the web applications mostly.
Okay.
Okay.
Coming to the standalone applications, see whenever you observe or whenever you're playing with the Windows system, you like install some softwares, right?
Yeah.
Whenever you're installing some software, whenever .exe file, when you click on that, you'll open some terminals, right? Some boxes.
Mm-hmm.
So those boxes generally called as the standalone applications or desktop applications.
Okay.
Okay, so you can design such kind of activities using the Python. So for standalone applications, what it does is that it is having the internal T-Thinker module is available. It's a package available built in the Python actually.
Okay.
Okay. So using this module, I can design the standalone applications. But for GUI level activities, what I have to do, I'm supposed to go for the Django.
Okay.
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 Next is there are many kinds of things. There are many flavors are there. So these 5 are the most important things. The other important thing is this generally most of the people will, this is the best interactive way. Generally Python usually called as the interactive, actually my keyboard is not good, sorry. Interactive programming language. What is the interactive?
Um, it's like you can easily understand and you can easily write in normal words, like
Right.
like the way you
So you
speak.
have the real-time experience. For on your experience, what I said is that. So Karan, you can also understand in the you can also understand that. So here, whenever you install the Python C, there will be a idle.
Okay.
Is my screen is visible to you?
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yes. Okay. So when you install that, there will be idle actually.
Okay.
Okay. So when you click on this idle, see this will be open like this. So whenever you're supposed to observe these kind of symbols like 3, right?
Okay.
This is called as a interpreter.
Okay.
Okay, the symbol whenever
Okay.
you observe here on your machine at any point in time, this is called as an interpreter. So what
Okay.
happens here, for example, I given some piece of code to you. I given some piece of sum of two numbers code to the Chetan and Karun. Now your responsibility is to debug what exactly that function is doing on.
Okay.
So what
Okay.
you'll do, whatever the code I have given to you, you can copy that code, paste it here, and observe the functionality of that function.
Okay.
Okay, so
Okay.
directly for the end user, Python has given an opportunity that you can directly interact with the interpreter here.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
means see here some of the two numbers, for example, this is the way. Don't bother about the concept here. Means don't bother about the syntax. Take the concept here. So this is the usual way you design using the functions in Python. So what are you supposed to call here? You can call the argument something like this. It will give the result to you. But if I given this piece of code sum to you, what is the way that you can just call this function here, paste the code here, and execute that? Then you can know what exactly the things happening here. If I given some large program, it's something composed of some 10 to lines. What you will do? Take that entire program, internally that just print, have a print statements. What is x, what is y? Okay.
Okay.
What happens here? What is the way you can debug that? Just print it out and observe the behavior. Okay.
Okay.
So here, see, one thing you have to learn here. What happens here is that Python has given the opportunity to the end user that use his idle for debugging the things.
Okay.
User can suppose to interact with the interpreter directly. So that is the reason this language usually called as a interpreted interactive programming language. Okay.
Okay.
So it is usually called as a interpreted. You know the interpreted. I explained what exactly the interpreted stands here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So whenever anyone came to you and asking, hey guys, can you please define the Python means? You can simply define that it's a interpreted interactive programming language.
Okay.
Okay. And
Okay.
also, what is I mean to say, why they are in the market, most of the people preferring the Python is, it is the best object-oriented programming language which satisfies all the principles of OOPS.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, because the basic funda whenever you're supposed to learn the Python is, in Python anything and everything is an object.
Okay.
Okay, so in Java, if you take Java, suppose some people used to call as Java is not a 100% object oriented programming language.
Okay.
But here, because in Java they are for primitive data types, there is a int is there, there is a integer class is there, two are there, they support two. But here int is not taken as an object or a class.
Okay.
But here integer is a class in Python, in Java.
Okay.
Do you got the thing difference? Generally in Python, for a primitive data type called int, in Java 3 versions, Java 3 below versions, they're supposed to take this int as a not as an object.
Okay.
But here later on, this is a disadvantage for the Java actually because it's not satisfying the OOPS principles. According to the OOPS, what it defines is that whatever the application designed by the end user, that in that application, anything should be in the form of classes and objects only. So then only that language or application should call as it is completely designed with the OOPS. Karan, are you getting?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so whatever the language, whenever, see the reason behind when I given to you a language, how do you supposed to call that language as OOPS? You'll check whether all the funda means all the objects are which are taking in the form of objects and classes or not. Whatever the variables you declare, whatever the function you declare, whatever the class you declare, so everything should be object here.
Okay.
If you found anything, any variable or function or class is not taking as an object, then that language is not called as a object-oriented programming language.
Okay.
Okay, so that is the reason most of the people say Java is not a 100% object-oriented programming language.
Okay.
But in the market, Ruby and Rails is the best language which is satisfying the principles of OOPS completely.
Okay.
Are you clear so far?
Yeah.
So you got something about the difference between the programming and scripting. Next is the scripting languages, what exactly the history behind that and what is the importance of Python. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now we will get to the usages. Can I erase this?
Yes.
Right. Coming to the usages, see where exactly this is using here in the market. First thing, so Python is getting utilized in the product-based companies mostly. Okay, because for example, you both guys have some organization, so your organization is something manufacturing the CPUs, for example. Okay,
Okay.
so for testing your CPUs, there will not be any customized tool available in the market. So you cannot buy any tool untested by your tested your product. So what they will do, so you are supposed to design one framework to test your application or product. So what you will do here, you will design some, what is that? Framework. So what is this generally the framework? What are the piece of functionalities you want to test on your product? You will design set of functions. Okay.
Okay.
Are you both the guys are getting on?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you sleeping or else?
No.
No, right? Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So right, so generally see, this is very important because you should know where exactly, after learning the Python, where exactly you have to apply those things.
Okay.
So product-based companies generally what they do, they will compose the framework. So what is this framework? Framework is nothing but it's a collection of functions with respect to their product.
Okay.
Okay, so in order to design this kind of framework, they prefer Python.
Okay.
Okay, so they prefer here not only Python, they prefer Perl also. So till 2 years back, they preferred Perl as the best approach for designing the frameworks. You can observe in any MNC company, if they are design some framework level activities, they prefer Perl because they already started this work 5 to 6 years back.
Okay.
But recently, before 2 years back, whichever the organization is started or they want to initiate some framework development, they are preferring the Python.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, right. So this is one of where Python is utilized more in the product-based companies. The next is what? Web application designing. Okay.
Okay.
Out of
Okay.
which generally to design the website, usually they prefer the HTML, CSS, JavaScript. These are available actually. Using this, they're supposed to design the websites. Later on, the approach come to the PHP. So before 2 years back, most of the people started using the PHP for designing their web application. But since 2 years back, So what the market changes is that the complete market is now dependent on the Django framework.
Okay.
Django. Why they are preferring to the Django here is that, see, Python itself, I said, when you design some application in Java, it takes 1,000 lines. When you design the same thing using Python, it takes 100 to 200 lines of code. The same thing here, Django also reduces the stuff. Means you have to design some website. That website should be designed within the days 3 to 4 days. You have some target like that.
Okay.
Okay.
So usually when you take the PHP or HTML, usually that takes at least 1 week of time to design one website.
Okay.
Okay.
But using Django, if you clearly well aware about what exactly the functionalities available in the Django, you can design the website within 2 to 3 days.
Okay.
Even
Okay.
1 day is more than enough to do the one website designing. Because here Django framework is something like a MVT based framework, model view templating. What the most
Okay.
of the functionalities that provided by the Django is reusability.
Okay.
Reusability means something like it has a property of inheritance. Means, for example, Chetan has developed one website, Karun has developed another website, but you both, for example, Chetan has already started working on the web designing. Now, after 1 week, Karun supposed to start the web designing. So what happens here is that now Karun want to have some kind of designing level activities which are similar to the Chetan.
Okay.
For
Okay.
example, my first page. So Chetan first page and Karun first page both should be equal. What happens? Chetan already done some coding on the first page. So what Karun do? Karun will not do again scratch level activities like designing again from the starting level. So he just use that code of the Chetan.
Yeah. Got it.
Using level will not, which is not available in the other languages like PHP or HTML most.
Okay.
So what Karun do? Just he will inherit your code
Okay.
Okay.
so that it makes the work fast for him. So he no need to take care for the first page again. He can
Yeah.
start using the
Okay.
second page
Yeah.
designing level activities.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's something like there are many kind of features it provided actually. So that is where, so whenever any constraint has to be there in the web designing level activities, they prefer Django there for the
Okay.
faster level application designing.
Okay.
Okay, so this is the way the market they are using because to learn to work with the Django, Python is must
Okay.
because this
Okay.
Django framework is completely designed using the Python. There's a reason without Python you can't do anything in the Django,
Okay.
Okay.
right? And other platforms. So where is the other things is that they are mostly using in the other platforms. Recently, I observed that in the market they are using Python for the big data
Okay.
Okay.
mostly. Okay, and other platforms also has directly the Chetan has worked on the robotics. If you take anything, whatever you take, all the platforms it is applicable because it is having the library support in other platforms also.
Okay.
Is it clear so far?
Yes.
Okay. No, this is the history. I explained you the history and I explained you the what about the scripting languages and I explained you the features of Python. Now I want to go to the technical. So with respect to the technical, so Chetan, you are already worked on the Python, right?
Yeah.
So rather than explaining some content in the basic level, just ask me what's one topic so that I can give some information on that particular topic to you. So that makes more sense to
Um,
you, right? So you can judge whether the technical content you are getting in the proper way or not from me.
I think it's okay. You can just go ahead.
Okay. So are you people familiar with the OOPS?
Yeah, object-oriented programming, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what about the current?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Don't call me
Yeah.
sir. Okay. Call me
Yeah.
Vamshi. Okay.
Okay.
Right. So people, I don't want to give some basic stuff variable declaration in Python because you people are already aware about that. But I'll give you the best approach in Python with respect to the OOPS.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. See here, screen is visible.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. So I will give you some 10 minutes of OOPS principle. Okay.
Okay.
What exactly the OOPS stands for. Okay.
Okay.
Right. So here, what I said here is that see, mm, before going to that, do you have any reason behind, for example, most of the people say that the language should be in the object. Why only object? Why not Vamsi or some other? Do you know the reason behind that?
I didn't got your question.
Why most of the people say that every language should satisfy the OOPS, but OOPS is saying that anything should be existed in the form of object. Why only object? Why not something? The question makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
What? Have you understand my question, right? Before?
Uh, okay. So you were saying that like why only it's object, not anything other, right?
Yes.
Okay. Because in the object is like it's predefined. Like you can just like put the object. I mean like something, and you can get the output, and it's easy. You don't have to like go through it every time through the code.
Mm-hmm. Means you're talking with respect to the inheritance.
Yeah, something like that.
Those are called as the properties because they have assigned some properties called abstraction, encapsulation, polymorphism for the object level. So what is the importance of taking in the object level is? No issues, I will tell you. Okay. So
Okay.
it's a modular. My keyboard is not working properly. Okay. Next is oops. Okay. So coming to the programming languages era, what happened here is that in the 1970s there used to be a structure is something like that is going something like it's a structured, unstructured, modular level, and oops. Okay. Coming
Okay.
to the structural and unstructural, that those point in time some languages like Pascal and C, Turbo. So these kind of categories are coming under the structured and unstructured. What happens here is that, for example, I am designing some application called Road Dash game. Road Dash, do you know? Road
No.
Dash in the sense it's a bike race game.
Yes. Yes.
Oh,
It's a
okay.
bike race.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
Okay.
something like
Okay.
it's a bike race. So now Chetan and Karun has developed some application for bike race
Okay.
in the 1970s. So
Okay.
what you will do in the road rash game, so the bike usually go in the forward direction. In the opposite direction, you will face some obstacles. The obstacles may be the car or rickshaw or cycle or auto, some other objects, right?
Okay.
Okay. Yes.
Okay.
So what you will do, you will write the piece of code something like this, that the bike is moving forward, right?
Yeah.
Next is what the car is getting in the opposite direction, like something. The otherwise object is also, for example, cycle is getting in the opposite direction. Okay, so whatever you do, whatever the piece of code you will do, something like this, right?
Okay.
Okay, think
Okay.
about that. You are in 1970s. There is no oops, there is no function, there is no class.
Okay.
Okay, so whatever the piece of code you will do, you will do the something like bike is moving in the forward, car is getting in the opposite direction, cycle is getting in the opposite direction. So whatever the piece of code you will do, you will write step by step.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So now, whoever the client that project has given to you, that client came to you and asking, hey guys, please can you please remove core, what is it, core object from this game.
Okay.
Okay, just remove the obstacle car from my game application, whatever that you
Okay.
have designed.
Okay.
Now the guy, whatever the Chetan and Karun, what you're supposed to do, you will remove this. When you remove
Okay.
this, the code will be executed, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is it will be executed when you simply remove the code? Because see here, if I remove something here, that will impact on the existing application, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah, it will.
Because here I was writing step by step, everything is linked with the previous one.
Yes.
Because there is no kind of concept called function here. Whatever I do, I will do the piece of code in the step by step approach. Here, what happens here is that whatever the application you design, that is not loosely coupled, it is tightly coupled.
Okay.
Okay.
Means if you do some modifications on this, they definitely impact the existed code. So at this
Okay.
point in time, designing some application like this based on the client requirements, it's very tough job.
Okay.
because structure and unstructured, there is no concept of function. Like whatever you do, something like everything is a tightly coupled. Okay,
Okay.
these
Okay.
are the actually these are the problems that we faced at that the most of the developers has faced while designing any application level activities during the phase of structured and unstructured. So later, that is the reason they come across with the modular level programming. So what module in the sense? What do you define? What do you think module in the sense? So module in the sense it's a function.
Okay.
Okay. So what you will do? You will write one function for the bike. Okay. One function for the car and one function for the what do you
Bus.
say? Take any objects. One cycle. Like this, for every obstacle, you will design certain functions separately. Okay.
Okay.
After designing certain things on every obstacle, you will define a main.py file. In this py file, what you will do, you will use these functions and make the proper code.
Okay.
Okay. Now the client
Okay.
came to you and asking, guys, can you please remove the cycle obstacle from this game? Now what you will do, you will do these modifications in the main.py file only, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So what you will do, just remove this function and use only these two and code the application. So compared to the previous state in the structured or unstructured, modular levels give some kind of flexibility, right? You no need to do modification from the entire application. Just remove this function and just record the these two. Record with these two within the main file.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you got the concept, Karun and Chetan?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Compared to the previous state, this is somewhere it is something like it is loosely coupled. So that is one of the reason, and also you need to only modify the main.py file because there are already functions available. Just you want to use them. Okay.
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 So this makes to some extent that developers can design based on the client requirements, but not completely, right?
Okay.
Later on, they come across with the oops. What oops is saying that anything should be existed in the form of classes and objects. Why object here? My question, right? So at this point in time, 1970s or something, you have some pen, for example, take pen or CPU, whatever the object. Take any object in this world and try to design some application on that. Okay.
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 So for the pen, if you want to design some application in the 1970s or 1980s, so what is the job you want to do here? You want to design some application or any object that you have taken from this world.
Okay.
So at this point in time, it's very, I mean to say, something that developers can't design the applications on the any object like pen.
Okay.
So what they do in order to avoid these obstacles, what they do, so OOPS came into the existence and saying to the developer that, hey developer, consider anything in this world as a object first.
Okay.
Okay.
Consider that as an object. So here developer assumes that pen is an object. So now what OOPS is defining is that for every object generally there are two kinds of things. One is the property. The other is its behavior. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, so take any object, but for any object generally these two will be there. What is that? First will be the property, the other is the behavior.
Behavior.
Take any object like pen or pencil, whatever you take, CPU or monitor take. So for that there will be a property, there will be a behavior. So what exactly the property? Under the classification of properties, what exactly they will come? What is the length of the pen? What is the color of the pen? What is the company which has been designed by this? What is the breadth of this pen? Okay, do you got the? Do you got it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So these are the general properties, right, for the pen object. Coming to the behavior, what is the behavior here? What can I define for this? This is for pen is for
Writing.
writing.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is the way the developers means the OOPS has given support to the developers that take whenever you're taking any application designing on this object, whatever the object you take from this world, for that object generally there will be a property and the behavior. So based on the property and the behavior of that particular object, define the application. Now simply what I will do, I will design the application. I will design a class called pen. Okay. Within that pen, I will design the applications for length. I will design the application for writing, right?
Okay.
So I can design the application something like this by considering the pen as an object.
Okay.
Are you clear so far?
Yes.
Yeah.
We got the reason behind why to take as an object only.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so it makes the job easy for the developers. So consider anything, whatever you take, anything considered as an object. For that object, there will be a property, there will be a behavior for that. With respect to the properties and behavior, just design the application on the particular object.
Okay.
Got it? And what about this is something similar to the modular only because function oriented. What exactly the other kind of things is that code reusability. So for that reason, what it is going, it is giving the concept called inheritance. Polymorphism means how to provide the means how to make one function utilize as a multiple forms. Polymorphism. Next for the security level abstraction. Okay, so these are the properties which are available by the oops. There are many things are there. I'm just giving the few things.
Yeah.
Okay, how to encapsulate the object. Okay, so there are many
Okay.
things out of which these are the one of the few important properties or features of the oops.
Okay.
Okay, you got that clear? Now what is the reason
Yeah.
behind taking everything as an object here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Now I will explain you the best approach to learn oops in Python. Okay,
Okay.
Okay.
because as Python has given the best interactive interpreter for us, we can check what exactly the backend of Python is working also. Okay, right.
Okay.
Coming to the class here, I define a class called car. So before going to the class example, I have to explain you the concept of oops. What I will do is that. mm, so this is I am an architect. Assume that I am an architect. Okay.
Okay.
Now what happens here is that you both guys came to me. Okay.
Okay.
So here this is me. Assume that this is me. I am an architect. Now you both guys came to me. Okay. Chetan and Karun. Karun, are you getting right?
Yes. Yes. Sir.
Okay. Please ask
Yeah.
me. Okay. Okay. Now, so here Vamsi is there. Vamsi is an architect. Chetan and Karun is there. So here, as I am an architect, I am designing my building plan actually.
Okay.
Okay. So this is my
Okay.
building plan. Assume that this is my building plan. Okay. I have some building plan here. So what happens here is that I have designed some template for my building plan.
Yes.
So
Okay.
now you both guys came to me and asking, hey Vamshi, can you please provide your template that you are using for your building plan so that we will use that and we will construct our building.
Okay.
Okay. So you both the guys came to me and copied my plan actually.
Okay.
Okay. So you both guys copied my plan here. Okay. Now Chetan and
Yeah.
Karan, whatever I supposed to do, the changes will be impacted on you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
See here, I am an architect. You both guys came to me and asked me template and copied my entire building plan that you are following for your construction, building construction. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So whatever the modifications I do, that will be impacted on you, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because in my building plan, if I am doing something else, because if I change something, you also inherit that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You both guys also will get because you're copying my plan.
Yeah.
Okay. Now consider this Vamshi as a class. Okay. Consider Vamsi as a class here. and take Chetan as a object. For example, I will take C1 and Karun as a C2. Okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Means consider Vamsi as a class and consider Chetan as a one object C1 and Karun as another object C2.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay? Now what I do is that, see, I will define OOP stands only on these two properties. First. So here, whatever class have, can I say like this? Whatever class
Yeah.
have, that will be inherited to the object.
Okay.
Whatever the billing plan I have here, that you will inherit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I do some modifications, you also get impacted with that modifications because you are following exactly me.
Yeah.
Clear?
Yeah.
Is there any confusion?
No.
No.
Right? Can I say it like this, right? Whatever the class have, that will be inherited to the object.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, if Chetan came to me, what Chetan is something is that he bought two cars. So he's in order to do have the car parking, he have changed his billing plan actually.
Okay.
Okay. Now, if Chetan has done some modifications on his billing plan, does this impact me?
No.
No.
Does this impact Karun?
No.
No.
Right? So for this, something I can define like this, right? Mm, every object is independent to each other. Can I define like this, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So first thing
Yeah.
is that what I'm saying, whatever the class, whatever the modifications I do in this billing plan, that will be inherited to both the guys. So from this, what I define, whatever the class have, that will be inherited to the objects. Next,
Okay.
if Chetan has done some modifications, that does not impact me. That does not impact on the other object. So whatever I think is that every object is independent to each other. So does this make sense to you, right? Reason? The reason
Yeah.
behind, can I define like this, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Now we can observe the practical things. So exactly the OOPS completely is working on these two things only. If you know these two things, then everything will be clear in the OOPS.
Okay.
Now we can see the practical approach. Okay.
Okay.
Can you go forward?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. So I have designed a class called car. Okay. What I'm doing here is that I just do some pass, something like a stub. If I don't want to any piece of code, you can use the pass there. And see, I have designed a class car. See, when you print that car is a variable which is of type class at this particular object location.
Okay.
Okay.
Whenever you print any object, you will get some object, right? See, what here it is doing, car is a variable which is referencing towards this object location.
Okay.
Clear?
Yeah.
Okay.
So what I'm doing here, I'm creating two objects here. If you don't know the object creation, I will explain you. For now, just take the concept.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
So C1 and C2 are there. No, C1 and C2 are the objects for the class car. Okay?
Okay.
Just like assume that I am a car. This is the car. C1 and C2 are the objects with respect to the car.
Okay.
Now what happens here? So I am defining some property called price to the car.
Okay.
Car is an object, you know that, right? For the objects, I can define the properties.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, so I can
Yes.
design like car price. It's my own wish. I can design what car.company is equal to something. So here car is an object. It's my wish that I can give any kind of attribute for the object car.
Okay.
Car is a class, right?
Car is a class, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you said car is an object, I guess.
Okay.
C1
So
is
generally,
an
we
object.
used to
Yeah.
call classes and objects as similar actually. Okay, let's observe. Let's go forward and you can get the difference between them. Okay.
Okay.
Here, class is here car is a class here. For that class, I have defined some property called price.
Okay.
Yeah.
As per our first definition, see what happens here. Whatever the class have that will be inherited to the object. So when I
Yeah.
define some property to the car, so as per our first definition, you should be inherited to the object also, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
See what happens. I have not defined any particular price attribute for C1.
C1.
But when I do some modification, when I do some assignment for the, it's C2 dot price.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So our first definition satisfies, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, take any attribute. Take some car dot some company is equal to Honda. So if you define some Honda here, what happens here that C1 also, C2 also inherits that
Yeah.
property or attribute. Now, okay. So we practically observe the first one. Coming to the second one. So here C1 is something like a Chetan. Now Chetan here, what I have done is that Chetan has changed his price, for example. Let us assume that he has changed some price with respect to his wish. Okay.
Okay.
Now if I print C1 dot price, whether it will be something 2 3 something or else something it will be 4 3 or so which is
Mm,
that? It should be the
It'll be
price.
2, 3,
It's
2,
go
3,
to
2, 3, 4, 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if Chetan has modified his car price, does this impact on the car? If I print car dot price, you know what it will give me?
it's 4-3.
Does this impact on the C2? What is
No.
the C2 dot price here?
4-3.
4, 3, 4, 3.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So if Chetan has done some modifications on his object, then this does not impact the class or any other object because objects are independent to each other. That is the reason behind that.
Okay.
Do you got the concept?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So I can explain you in depth also how exactly the method is working. See, one thing I can give the assurance from my end that from my sessions I will give you the how exactly the backend works.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, even with the classes also, what is the reason behind that is that if I give some the core part of the Python, then you can overload that or you can reuse that functionality.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so I can explain you how exactly the object creating is also. So we can, for example, stop that object creation for any class also.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
you got the concept here. See, the
Yeah.
one more important thing is that whoever the guys who are learning the Python, they don't know the basic funda actually. So whenever you declare any variable, this you must learn actually. This is very important, and most of the people will not concentrate on this here. So if I give I is equal to 100 now, if I print I, what happens?
Yes. Okay.
Okay. 1000.
I is now 100. So
Yeah.
here user no need to specify what data type he is storing on, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Python is generally called as a dynamic typing language because in other languages, take C or Java or whatever, if the user is supposed to store some I is equal to 1000, he should specify what data type he is storing on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then it allocates the memory with respect to that. But in the Python, you're not doing anything. So when you do something I is equal to 1000, what exactly happens at the backend is it will check the type of I. This is at the back end. What exactly the process go is that it will check the type of I. So whether it getting string or int, it observe. So it is int. What it will do is that it allocates the memory with respect to that size, what you specify.
Okay. In Java, we have to
Okay.
define first.
Okay. In Java, you have to supposed to
Okay.
do. Supposed to
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
whenever the user gives, based on that only, the memory allocation will be done.
Yeah.
Okay.
But here, everything is a dynamic. At the runtime, it creates and allocates the memory.
Okay.
And the other concept you have to get here is that when I go I is equal to 1000 here, okay. Now if the same variable, now what happens here is that I is a variable which is pointing towards the 1000 location, 10,000.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Python has provided as a function called ID. Using this function, you can retrieve the object location where exactly this 10,000 is been placed on your hard disk.
Okay. Store.
This is
Okay.
the object location for your variable.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. The
Okay.
concept behind is that most of the people don't know this concept here is when I do the same thing now, hello, I is equal to, now I define the Chetan. Previously, I stored I is equal to 10,000. Now I define I is equal to Chetan. Okay. The problem
Okay.
is whenever the guys with some other programming background, they believe that I is a variable which is storing 10,000.
Okay.
Okay. They
Okay.
believe that variable is something which stores a value. But in Python, you should not define like that. In Python, variables are something which is referencing towards this object location. Now here what I can define, I is a variable which is referencing towards this object location.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so before going to the concept, see I is equal to, I given 10,000. Now what happens is that I will give you current is equal to I.
Okay.
I stored I is equal to 10,000. Now what I define is that current is equal to I define. Here current is a variable. I assigned current with I. Means here what happens, see, when I check the object locations of current and object locations of I, what happened?
Same.
Same.
Change. Object locations are same, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So what happens now? Both current variable and I are referencing towards the same object location.
Okay.
Okay.
So that is the reason I can access that 10,000 using current or I variable.
Okay.
In detail, we can example. I will define some function here. So don't bother about the definition. Okay. Take the concept behind here. For example, x plus y. So generally, I define the function. What is the way I used to call sum like this, right?
Okay.
Take the concept. Don't take the syntaxes. I will tell in the further classes. Take the concept. I have a function called sum. I call that sum function. It gives me 3, 5 if I pass. It gives me the 8. Now my intention is observe here. If I give Chetan is equal to sum. Okay. So what exactly here sum is a variable. Here this sum is a variable which is referencing towards this location, this object location. Okay.
Okay.
Now if I print Chetan, observe the difference. Chetan is also a sum function. It's of sum function at this same object location.
Yeah.
Right. So generally to access the sum function, I have to supposed to call like this only. Now what I have done to the same object location, I made this Chetan variable pointing towards that. Now I can access that function using the Chetan variable also. See.
Okay.
This makes sense that in Python anything and everything is an object, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And most of the people don't know this concept because most of the people will come from the other programming background. What they believe is that in that languages, okay, variable is something which stores a value. But in Python, variable is something which is referencing towards the object location. This is the difference you should know. Most of the people, they will learn the Python, they will not get this concept actually.
Okay.
This is how exactly the difference usually occurs with respect to the variables mostly.
Okay.
Do you got it?
Yeah.
Okay, this is the actually this is the very funda actually. How exactly the object reference is going on.
Okay.
Is it clear so far?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is the thing because I have another session, so I have to wind up this session here. So if you want require another session, I can give the technical session on another demo class. Okay.
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 So are you clear so far, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. See if you still can't judge me, I will take another session, technical session for you. Okay.
Okay.
So there is no issues. But what one thing is that with respect to the, I will send the schedule, I will send the syllabus sheet for you.
Okay.
Okay. So it's my responsibility that I can give you the assurance that whatever the session you will take from me at the end, you will design to some extent. That too you have to practice.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. With respect to the basic funda, because I will concentrate only on the fundamentals. If you are strong on the fundamentals, that in the advanced part you can work for you using that. By taking the help of the basic funda, you can enhance your skills.
Okay.
Okay.
What I believe is that is so your fundamental should be strong.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So get the syllabus, observe that. If you require any other additional topics, just let me know. Okay, because I have covered all the things, and what is the other kind of enhancements you will get from me is that I will explain you the core part of Python.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, that's your wish. First, I will get the concept, basic concept to be covered. After that, if you are in a capable to learn the advanced things or core part, then I will let you know. That based on your interest levels. Because I don't want to confuse you with the core part. If I give the core part, you will confuse with the basic part.
Okay.
Okay.
So if you are in a capable to get the information on the advanced part, or code part, I can explain you that too actually.
Okay.
Okay. And coming to the material, I supposed to give in the form of PPTs.
Okay.
I don't believe that
Okay.
Python which can be enclosed in small book and that can be given to you. So an ocean. So for that, the best documentation for Python is its website.
Okay.
Okay.
On the website, if you go there, so on the website here, so here you can observe the documentation session. Okay. On this
Yeah.
documentation session, you can observe two flavors. If you're working with 2 series, go to the 2. If you're working with 3, go to the 3. So in this, you can get all the materials which you want. This is the best approach for getting the help documentation from the Python website. But what I intend to do is that I will provide you the content in the form of PPTs for you so that you can place that in your mobiles, right?
Yeah.
So whenever you're supposed to go for any interview session, that makes easy for you. You can have a quick glance on your mobile, right? So it takes
Yeah.
around 10 to 15 to, it's maybe 20 minutes. It takes you 20 minutes to recap the things which you have learned before.
Okay.
So that is the
Okay.
reason I will provide you in the form of PPTs for you, the material. Okay.
Okay.
With the rest of the part, that gives you the basic funda. Means it gives the basic things how to use. What is the
Okay.
theory behind that? Just give the single line theory and example with respect to that.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. And in advance, if you want to go, if you, in future, if you want to go for some kind of advanced level activities, you can get the information from this level, from this documentation.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. And at last of the class, I will show you. I cannot give the code to you. I will show you some frameworks of MNC companies which I worked previously.
Okay.
That gives you some kind of awareness that what is the real-time production needs going on.
Okay.
Is it clear?
Yeah.
So after 1 week of the classes, we can start automating your daily activities. Means you can start automate your Facebook, Twitter, Gmail activity. Okay.
Okay.
I said
Okay.
right, some kind of UI level designing, right? Maybe you will not find that information in the syllabus sheet. So recently I added the topic your T-Thinker also. So
Okay.
using that you can design your standalone applications. Means you can
Okay.
design some kind of desktop applications for sending the emails.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So after 1 week you
Okay.
can start automating these kind of things. So which makes you some giving the more confidence and interest towards learning the Python.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So is there any other kind of queries that you have or any concerns from your end?
No.
Uh,
No.
so when is the next class
So
gonna
don't
be?
hesitate. You can ask me the private information, any personal information also. Means something like where exactly I can utilize this, where are the opportunities I can get best.
Okay.
If you have any other queries also, please let me know. No issues at all. To my extent, I can give the best to you.
Okay. So when is the next class gonna be? Tomorrow?
If you're accepted me, then I can schedule for you. Actually, is this proper time is advisable feasible to you? Whatever the time I have
Yeah.
taken, six to
Yeah.
seven,
Yeah.
because at 7:20 I have the big data classes. I have to take the big data.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Yeah, this is the proper
so
time.
I am
Yeah.
free. I'm absolutely free for the 6 to 7.
Yeah. It's good.
Okay.
Okay, is that fine to you?
Okay.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
fine.
So coming to the duration, see, actually, I was a corporate trainer for Tech Mahindra.
Okay.
Okay, what I believe is that it's something it can be, I mean to say, it can be completed in a short span. But what I do is that with respect to your frequency, I will go to what extent you are taking the things. Okay,
Okay.
it's not
Okay.
something
Okay.
like it's not a constraint that I will complete that in 2 or 3 weeks. Let's base the time advisable is 3 weeks. Let us think to what extent we will go. Okay, that based on the frequency we used to do. Okay, to what extent we are increasing the
Okay.
level of understanding. Okay,
Okay.
Okay.
so generally it advisable for 2.5 weeks to 3 weeks. So let us see if you have we're doing some activities, then we can extend that to that based on your understandability. At final, once the session is done, you should be confident with respect to the Python. That is what my intention here.
Okay.
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 Vamsi,
Okay.
how
Take the
is the
syllabus
job?
sheet, observe it carefully. If you want any modules, just let me know. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Sure.
Okay. So is there any other kind of information do you want?
Yeah. Vamsi, how is the job market for Python?
See one thing.
Yeah.
Currently, the complete market is on per.
Okay.
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 So from the last 2 years, the Python utilization has started.
Okay.
Okay, but after 2 years, Python is the one which placed it in the market first.
Okay.
See, recently we got the information, right? Infosys and some IBM or some other TCS, I think, they lost many projects due to the lack of resources on Python.
At Grand Prairie Ford, it's 0 down all month long.
Okay, because very few members are available in the market till now. Now you don't get the importance of learning this. After 2 years, you will feel pretty confident and happy that I have learned at the right time.
Okay.
See, currently there opportunities are available, but when I compare with the Java, it is not huge like that.
Okay.
But after 2 years, definitely this will be the market.
Okay.
Already in the US, they already started implementing everything in the Python only.
Yeah.
But in India, it takes slow pace, right? It takes some time to get onto that. Okay. But in future, now only you can observe that in most of the job openings, Python has become the one of the mandatory skill.
Yeah, I've seen some
Take
job.
any opening, take any job opening, they will place Python as a skill in the skill profile. They should know.
Okay.
Okay, but after 2 years, definitely in the market, it is utilized 80% in the market when compared to the, even it is beating out the other languages. After 2 years, it is something like where Java, whatever the Java is doing, everything can be done using the Python also. And the people are preferring Python mostly for the application level designing also. And recently in the market, the openings have started on the big data also using Python.
Yeah.
Okay.
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 Yeah.
Is there another issues? The other kind of openings you can find on the web designing.
Okay.
Okay, but most of the MNC companies who are having the hardware kind of designing level activities, so they prefer to design their framework using the Python, and most of the companies already started migrating their framework from Perl to the Python.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
is the information is fine to you, or else you
Yeah.
want
Yeah.
some more information?
Yeah. Yeah. That's
That's
fine.
Clear? Don't hesitate, be free. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
okay, be cool because you're learning, so you should know whatever things you should supposed to do in future.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, truly speaking, that currently you have the openings. Definitely you have the openings, but I can't say it is something like a Java openings,
Yeah.
huge openings.
Okay.
But in future, definitely, because you can observe, I don't know whether you're reading the technical articles with respect to the US or not. The market is completely shifting to the Python in the next upcoming years.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
I said it is very easy to learn, easy to implement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes the people to migrate to the Python actually. Clear? I hope you got the things. Okay. Please let me know if you are not getting any point in time with our. Don't hesitate to ask me the questions at any point. Just ask me, interrupt me, and ask me the questions with respect to the topic which I was discussing with you. Okay.
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 See, whatever we discussed with the oops, that makes easy, right? Because
Yeah.
at the initial career when I was learning the Java, it is a hectic for situation for me that how exactly the oops is working in Java because I don't have a interpreter like interface in Java, right?
Yeah.
So here Python is provided as an IDE so that you can check your code. Whatever if you're confused or mess up with some piece of code, just copy that, paste it in the interpreter and observe the behavior, how exactly it performing.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So here it's something like it's very interactive. You can learn what is the step-by-step functionality piece of code it is doing on.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
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 Clear so far?
Yeah.
So that's from my end. So it's time running out. So I have to catch up the another batch.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So you can interact with the Mahesh, I think. Okay.
Okay.
And contact them and just let me know your opinion. Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Right. Nice talking with you guys. Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.